Hello, my name is Max Stein.
And I'm Abby Curzon.
And this is the Not Your Average Knitting Podcast. So this is our episode number 5. We're back after a little bit, a longer stretch of time than normal, but life has sort of returned to normal, at least for Abby. Maybe normal is not the right, word.
Life has returned to chaos.
Has returned to anarchy and chaos. But we've both been very busy the past few weeks, and so we are sorry for the delay, but we're very happy to be back podcasting. It's very nice to do this, and I also haven't seen Abby in a bit, so forced time spending together. We're going to grab a bite to eat after this. That should be nice. Yeah. So welcome to all of our new viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is the Not Your Average Knitting Podcast. We're a relatively new podcast, but we have sort of a community that's being created, which is super cool. Everyone is so kind and welcoming, so please stay tuned for more episodes after this one. And also thank you for everyone who's returning. Thank you for your patience and for being back. There will be a giveaway this episode. Later on, Abby will talk about the giveaway, but it's a fantastic giveaway with so many goodies, just beautiful stuff, local stuff. So stay tuned, and that giveaway will be available to those who are Canadian residents at this time. And we'll talk about how you can enter into that giveaway later on. So again, my name is Max. I live in Calgary, really very close to Abby. I play horn in the Calgary Philharmonic, and so I've been doing that professionally for the past year or so. What else? I have fish. New fish that I love. I have a small 10-gallon fish tank with some fish and a snail that I love, and I think I'm going to name the snail Igor. I'm going to name them after composers. So I have 3 fish. So Giacomo for Puccini, I think Gustave for Mahler, and then Claude for Debussy, and then Igor. Or did I already say Igor? Maybe Igor
for the snail.
Igor's for the snail. Yeah, Igor Stravinsky for the snail.
I love it.
What else? I'm originally from Florida. I'm an American, but I live in Canada now, and I absolutely love it here. Abby and I met would it be a year ago? Or almost approaching a year.
I feel like September? We're pretty much at a year now.
It probably was sometime in September, October.
In September.
We're getting close to probably a year since I met Abby. We met at a knitting group, and then I ended up seeing her again 2 months later at a fiber festival in Calgary, and we exchanged numbers, and here we are, very good friends, and we're both musicians. I'll let Abby talk more about that, but we have music in common and knitting in common, and we love nature, and so yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name's Abby. I am an elementary music school teacher in Calgary. I'm originally from here. I did some university in the States. I am a trained opera singer. I'm currently dealing with a voice injury, but slowly healing with lots and lots of speech therapy and all kinds of fun things. And I like to knit, obviously. And I also like being outside. I like hiking. I like rock climbing. I like running sometimes. I've ran a marathon before.
So sometimes you really like running.
So somehow, I don't know if the marathon was quite such a fun experience per se.
Whenever you talk about it, you're always talking about how much pain you.
Oh my god, I've never been like. I was just like, I couldn't even bend my feet. Like, it was just awful. And I prepared, like, at least, I mean, probably not as good as I could have, but, you know, I wasn't one of those people that just rolled out of bed and tried to run a marathon. Like, I did prepare for it, but yeah.
I think a lot of people I've heard who run marathons, even those who have trained, have said that the first one's always really painful.
Oh, it was just awful. But it was cool.
It was just awful, but amazing.
Well, and it was, I did it in Vegas, so you run like in the, like down the strip or whatever. So the half cool. Marathon in particular in Vegas is really cool because you're running in the strip and then you're running down Fremont Street and stuff like that. But then the marathon kind of branches off for the second half, and then you're just running through like industrial Vegas, like back and forth and back and forth. Like, I think they spent all their security money on the first half of the marathon. I just kind of
It's cool though that you were able to, run and see the scenery of Vegas.
Yeah.
From a different perspective than normal.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be drunk or gambling or anything like that.
No, my parents have a condo in Vegas, and when we go there, it's mostly about like eating.
Yeah.
And like people watching, and they have a tiny knitting shop there called Sin City Yarn Shop, and it's really, really cute, and I love it.
I love that name. That's an awesome
It's so
name.
perfect, and they have I think they have some like house dyes and stuff that are really cute. My mom's brought me back like a hat kit that I've made. I should show sometime on this podcast.
Yeah.
Really cute. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about us. So tell us about your fun week, Abby, or past 2 weeks.
Oh my God, I'm so tired. I just like, it's like everything that I was like protesting and like working
So schools have reopened. You should give background.
Sorry.
So schools reopened.
Schools reopened, pretty much back to normal, and our government has basically put all of the responsibility and onus on school boards and teachers to make the schools as safe as possible. Like, they didn't put much extra funding towards student safety, teacher safety, or anything like that. And I, for sure, before school opened, knew that it would be a problem, so I did try to rally and try to like raise awareness. But yeah, the year has been chaotic. Like, up until like, I feel like our numbers have started to stabilize, but because online learning, the date for online learning and the date for in school were not at the same time. We've had just constant changes in our numbers of students.
You told me there were a lot of people like dropping out.
There were dropouts. There were people moving back.
Okay.
We're like, I teach in a fairly transient area to begin with.
I see.
But then COVID on top of that has made it even more so. So it's really hard to make plans for classes or organize your room when you don't even know how many students you're going to have every day.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you're trying to get them distanced, and a lot of desks, we don't have like single desks, or a lot of classrooms, because learning doesn't happen that way anymore. We don't have single desks for every student. So there'll be students like sitting like us.
I see.
But closer, like directly beside each other. So
almost in like a science lab, like sitting at one table together.
Yeah. And so teachers are trying to like rig together like cardboard barriers and stuff like that, and then and having students in masks all day, it's really hard to hear, especially kids with speech challenges. Like, there's some kids that I'm just like, I have no idea what they're saying. And I mean, I don't know that it would be that, anyway, and just the amount of sanitizing I do every day to try and keep things clean, and just, I don't know, it just will never be perfect situation, but I just wish that it could be a little bit better. I guess,
It just seems like they needed to have more of a structure in place prior to opening.
Right.
Because it seems sort of cruel almost to, like, essentially what's happening is it's an experiment almost.
Yeah.
It's almost like, how do we do this during this time? Well, let's see. Like, let's try this and let's try that, and let's, put this responsibility on these people and take it off of these people. And it seems like things needed to be thought through a lot more, and there needed to be a clear structure in place, a clear document outlining every single detail, every possible situation, as to not create, like what you described, like chaos, like you having to make decisions on the fly of like what to do. And because safety things should not be at a teacher's discretion, that those things should be decided, and everyone should be doing the same thing, right?
Well, we are, but it's just the problem is that some of the protocols, like washing everything that any student has ever touched, that's not a manageable expectation. That's
so every time the kid touches something before the next kid touches it, you have to wash it?
Yeah, you're supposed to wash it.
You have to wash it?
Yep.
How do you have time to do that?
You don't. It's not a manageable expectation. Like, I do my best. Am I washing everything, every instrument or everything that a kid has touched one time? Probably not, because it's just not a manageable expectation.
Well, if they're sanitizing their hands, shouldn't that like, there should be a balance between them sanitizing their own hands, right? And then you.
Right.
It's difficult.
But that's, I mean, and I like rules, like I'm a rule follower, and so to feel like I'm not really following the rules because I can't sometimes is really hard for me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, it is amazing to see my students again. I love my coworkers, so that's awesome too. But yeah, feels a bit like we're in an experiment. And yeah, I'm watching the support our students. Alberta has a tracker of COVID cases in schools, and I think we're at like 60 schools with single cases in Alberta, and 8 outbreaks already.
Jeez.
And it's not even been a full 2 weeks since all students were in the building, because we had staggered entry until the Friday. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, you look really good.
Well, thanks.
Even after going through a cluster of a 2 weeks, you look really great. And you went on a hike, or not a hike, a climb recently with Mike?
Yeah, we just did a crag day, so we went into like a canyon it's called Grotto Canyon.
Okay.
And it's near Exshaw. And yeah, we just did like single pitch routes in there, so I think we did like 6 routes or something. It's a pretty chill day.
Was it busy?
It was fun. Yeah, it was. And I mean, that was a bit of a gong show. Like, there's a lot of new climbers recently, and there's some etiquette things. Like, if you're not using a route, then, you know, don't just leave your rope up and go climb something else. Like, take it down so that other people can... Yeah, so that, like, other people can have a turn or try. Yeah. So that kind of stuff is like just basic climbers etiquette that, you know, typically is followed and respected, but yeah, it's seems to be not quite as much now just because of yeah. But
cool.
But we had a great day.
Yeah, and it was a nice weather. It was. When did you go?
It was
it
smoky.
Sunday?
It was
smoky.
Really
it was
smoky.
Sunday. Yeah, that was sort of the past few days. Yeah, I wanted to say forgive us for we changed locations today. We're sitting inside, and so the lighting could possibly be very dim today. But it's just because it's a little bit dreary outside. It's a little bit colder. Recently, not a lot, but it's colder for sure. And the sky has been completely gray because of smoke that's traveled from the Pacific Northwest because of the fires and everything that's happening out there, which is awful. And so the city, and I feel like it's a pretty normal thing for Calgary to get these
like cold
currents of smoke that come through every year, right? Like around this time, there's always fires happening in the. I mean, they might not be as horrible as what's going on currently, but I remember last year, I think in September, we had a lot of smoke too.
Yeah, we had fires in BC last year, I think.
It's strange. It doesn't even, when you look up at the sky, it sort of just looks like smoke clouds, or not smoke clouds, snow clouds. Or it just looks like maybe the sky is gray because of clouds, but it's actually the smoke. But yeah, so we're inside, we're making it work, and we thought everyone would rather see us inside with a dim lighting than no episode at all. So we're here, making the best, doing our best. My week, were you done with?
Yeah. Sorry, my week was long.
No, your week was, it's not really a week because it's since our last episode.
My
so
weeks.
It's been a while. Yeah, your weeks. And it probably feels like a long time since you've, So, let me think. So I've been putting on these concerts, these neighborhood concerts outside of my house, just a few doors down in front of a neighbor's house. Almost every weekend on Saturdays. Abby's been, I think, at every single one. That's how you know who your true friends are. They come to see you play French horn every single weekend. And the weather has actually been very nice, and we had a concert this past weekend on Saturday, and I had a double bass player and a violinist friend come and play, and they were fantastic. And I also played with my colleague who plays horn in the orchestra. And then the week prior, we had a friend in the orchestra who plays bassoon, and he also sang some tunes, just American folk songs. It was really fantastic with a friend of his who plays piano, and I also played some duets, with another horn colleague of mine. So those have been nice, and we've been raising money at those concerts for nonprofits. The week prior, we raised money for, I believe, the Alberta Cancer Foundation, and then this past weekend was the Calgary Food Bank. Oh, I think I would have these.
Oh, bless you.
Excuse me. So, what else has been going on? Well, I've been dating someone recently for the first time in almost 4 years. Mr. Single Max is no longer single. I'm not going to reveal identities over our podcast, but he's wonderful, and he's very kind and affectionate and thoughtful, and he's a wonderful cook, and he's 6'3", so he's very hunky. I'm 6'1", so it's nice to date a guy who's actually taller than me. It's not a normal thing, actually. It's not an easy thing, rather, to find. Most people are shorter than me, which is fine. I love shorter people, obviously. Abby.
Yeah, I'm like
I love shorter people.
5'1".
And then your boyfriend is tall, so you like tall people.
Yeah, it's true.
So I've been spending a lot of time with him, which means I have not been knitting as much as I normally would be, because he's been keeping me occupied, and we've been doing fun things, and we went to British Columbia, to his parents' cabin out there, and spent some time hiking, and we took his parents' dogs. His parents have 2 yellow labs that I absolutely am in love with, and we went out there and did hikes with them. What else have I been doing? Well, I got fish. I got fish today, actually. Fish for my tank. And the tank's looking really cute. I actually got a little sushi house for my tank. It says sushi, and then there's like a little menu, and it's like a little sushi house. And it's sitting in the tank, and it's funny to have the fish swimming around the sushi house.
It's
a little bit
cute.
cannibalistic. It's a little horrible. But
so cute.
But it's very cute, and I like the tank a lot. I'm trying to think. What else? I've been biking. I biked with my boyfriend. Yeah, biked with my boyfriend around the Marta Loop Reservoir.
Ooh.
Apparently it just opened, or part of it near the dam there just opened after many years of construction, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I used to run over there. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
To practice for my half marathons.
and it goes through, I think is it the Heritage District? Heritage Town. There's an area there that's sort of like a historical district.
Oh, Heritage Park.
Heritage Park.
Yes.
With some like older buildings. It's a really beautiful area. It looks very fun for families and stuff. So there's like chocolate and coffee and toys and toy shops and different things like that. But there's a reservoir there, and it's gorgeous. The bike ride just goes there's a path that just basically goes around the entire loop, and it's nice. Really, really nice bike ride. It probably was like a 25-kilometer bike ride in total that we did 25 or 30 kilometers, but really enjoyable. The weather has been not so wonderful the past yesterday, today, and days before, past few days. It's just been a little bit dreary and gray. It's weird because it's not winter, but it's gray, like winter sometimes. But Calgary is typically very sunny. That's the weird thing, is that we usually have a lot of sun, so without the sun it feels almost weird, like I don't even recognize the city.
Yeah, I think it's the smoke, honestly.
It definitely is the smoke, for sure. But it's like really, it's bringing me down a little bit. Today I've been feeling a little bit down. But, you carry on, and you do your best.
And you knit.
And you knit, yes. I am knitting. So, what are we wearing? So, let's see.
Yes.
So, I'll try to stand up so people can see. So this is the Guthrie by Caitlin Hunter. Hello. So this is the it's gonna be very loud. It's gonna be very loud into the microphone. So this is the Guthrie by Caitlin Hunter. I knit it in Bahramu It's a Baremu is a British yarn in their Dovestone DK. I don't believe they have Dovestone DK anymore, the same base, but they do have a lot of beautiful woolly British yarns. And then I knit it in Spin Cycle, so you can see all the colors. It's super fun. You can tell it's not the same. The sleeves are different, which like to some people might know. And I think at the time I just didn't even think about it. I just sort of was like going from one ball of spin to trying to match them would be impossible. I think with Spin Cycle. But sorry, not every skein of Spin Cycle is the same. Like even within 5, you would never get one that's exactly. But
yeah.
So this is my Guthrie. It's the only good part about it being a little chilly is sweater weather.
Yes.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, this is the Koivua by Caitlin Hunter.
Oh, we're totally matching our
Caitlin Hunter today. So this is the Koivua. It's knit in Quince & Co. The orange is Quince & Co. Owl, which is worsted weight. And then Quince & Co. Lark, which is the black, which is another worsted weight. One is like kind of tweedy and one is more
What is this, like
solid.
broken rib? What is this? That's going on in between.
Do you know, I can't remember. I don't think it's.
It doesn't. It looks. I've never seen that. Like it almost looks like a combination of pearls.
Yeah, it's just a combo of pearls and
it's nice.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's just a little.
I remember when you were knitting with that yarn and I touched it. Oh, it's heavenly.
It is heavenly.
It's heavenly.
Especially the owl. Oh, the tweedy kind of.
And the black. The black was such a good choice.
Oh, thanks.
I'm always scared of black. I'm scared of black because I always think that I'm not going to be able to see it when I'm knitting. But if you have enough contrast.
Yeah, like as a contrast color, it's really powerful because it just.
Oh yeah.
It just pops. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so whips and FOs. We both have the same whip, or one of the same whips. We're both knitting the Trove Sweater from Pom Pom Quarterly. The Trove Sweater, Trove. It's a gorgeous pattern with slip stitch colorwork or mosaic knitting, I think it's also called. And we're both knitting it, and we're both trying to finish it for Christy Glass's Rhinebeck Sweater video. I believe, when do we have to finish it by?
October 10th.
Oh my god. Okay. I think hopefully I'll be able to get there. I think I will.
You are going to need to drink some Red Bull and
Abby's like, well, we had this goal of submitting the video together. So for those of you who know Chrissy Glass or not, she's a podcaster and she's doing this video called Tell me about your Rhinebeck Sweater. She usually will go to Rhinebeck, New York, the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck, and she would do this video, tell me about your Rhinebeck sweater, and she'll run around the festival with a sign up, and she'll sort of pick people's sweaters out that she likes, and of course most of the things that people are wearing are knitted, crocheted, etc. because it's a fiber festival. And that video, everyone loves that video because you get to watch it and you get to learn about all these patterns and see all different yarns, and it's just a fantastic video. But Rhinebeck, of course, is not happening, so she's doing it online, so you get to submit, and I'm not sure if she's putting all of them in there or she's choosing. She probably is choosing. There would be way too many submissions, but we're wanting to do a video together. So Abby is on her way to being done. You want to show yours?
Yeah. It's like I finished the body, other than the neck, and I'm on to sleeve number 1.
You want to hold it up closer? Maybe the camera. It should be okay.
So you can see the slip stitch color work, which is pretty much the whole thing except for the ribbing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Is using that same, and it's a 24
stitches for 4 inches?
No, like 24 color repeats. So like the
24.
colors are with like every.
I thought it was 16.
It's like 4.
Is it not 16? Or maybe it's 24 rows.
I think it's 24 rows and then.
Oh yeah, it's 24 rows, but it's 16 like sets of.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to describe it, but there's 16 like lines of different colors, but you're right. There's 24 rows in total. Cool.
So yeah, it seems kind of random, but it's not. Basically.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. I think it's actually she's definitely thought through it a lot, like which colors that she wants. And then this is mine, which is like on its way. I promise I've done a lot more than it looks. I put so much effort into this, and it's like I just need to really get some good knitting in the next week or two, because I'll have a goal. I'm gonna have a goal to finish the body of the sweater by the end of September, and that way, because I can whip sleeves out. I'm good at sleeves. Like, I'm always really good at whipping sleeves out quickly. But you can see mine has sort of a green and gold and rusty orangey color and a white. So mine's a little bit more masculine and hers is a little bit more feminine for obvious reasons. But these are Troves.
Yeah, and what yarn are we knitting it in, Matt?
Oh, we're knitting it in the gorgeous lichen and lace rustic sport by a dyer, an owner, a Canadian dyer and owner, and
New
Brunswick. I always forget where her yarn is. Out of New Brunswick, and oh my gosh, to die for. Yarn is to die for. You must go to lichenlace.com or the site, or look it up and support a local yarn store if they have it. And if your local yarn store does not have this yarn, they must get this yarn because it's affordable. Is it $13 a skein?
Yeah, something like that.
13 or $14 Canadian a skein, and there's decent yardage. I think that my sweater, I think, was only maybe $120 for the total, and this is nice yarn, and that's 120 Canadian for a sweater for me is very little because I'm a big person. And didn't you spend 100 or less?
Yeah, I spent 100. Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it's, of course, it's not cheap yarn, but it's very affordable for what you're getting. It's really fantastic stuff, and we obviously loved working with it.
It's very rustic and sticky, perfect for color work.
Yes, it's perfect for color work, and it's honestly it looks so good with the slip stitch because there's such definition.
Yeah.
Okay. FOs.
No, but I have more whips.
Okay, so let's see your whips.
Sorry, I'm like the woman of many whips. So this is also in lichen and lace rustic sport. This whip is called the Eri Sweater. Oh my goodness, now I have to take it up. It is the Eri Sweater. I've talked about it before by Isabel Kramer, I believe.
Yeah.
And I finally finished the body.
Ooh.
This is it up close.
How are you knitting this much?
Other than I need to do the, the neckband.
Have you been knitting a lot?
But then a fair amount, but
every night for a few hours?
I knit every night, yeah.
Oh yeah. See, I'm really inconsistent.
But yeah, this is it. It's a really beautiful pattern if you like cables.
Wait, I want to see. I've never seen. Oh, it looks great. That's gonna block out so nicely.
I know. It's gonna be like long and loose.
It's gonna lay out flat and just be amazing.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Once I'm done my Trove, I'm gonna get back and finish this guy. So yeah.
Awesome.
And then and my last whip that I'm gonna show today, I've shown before as well. This is Casapinka's Breathe and Hope shawl. I'm sorry, that crinkling might not be the most fun. And I'm using 2 different yarns, so that's the start of it. And I'm using the green is the Loops House fingering yarn in Kensington. And the speckled white is Sea Turtle Fiber Arts, and it's
also Canadian.
Canadian. Oh, Calgarian.
Fire.
Yeah. So amazing. I really love, and I love the color combination of how they're kind of picking each other up. It'll be a really fun stop traffic kind of garment.
Yeah, Abby and I are very passionate about supporting local dyers, local yarn stores. The Loop is one that was mentioned. That's in Kensington that we love, and we love to knit with Canadian yarn. And I think this time now more than ever, it's important to support local people. So, like for instance, the other day I wanted to buy these books online, and I found them online for maybe $8, and I thought to myself, I could probably get these books from a bookstore in Calgary, or I could call and get them ordered. And so because I just feel like now businesses are really struggling, even more than they usually are, and the bookstore probably was already struggling before this. So I the bookstore over there in Kensington. I called them up and asked if they could order it. And of course, each book was $18 or $20, ordering it through them instead of getting it online. But the thing is, you pay more when you buy it from someone else here because they have to pay rent and pay their employees. And so, it's little things like that. Like, not all the time. I realize it's not affordable for everyone to do that all the time. But I buy a lot of stuff online, so.
But you could still go, like, for bookstores, in Calgary, you could go to Fair's Fair Books in Inglewood because they have like secondhand books and stuff, and they have like a huge selection. So that's a place that you could go if you wanted something, I don't know, fairly well known or not.
Totally. And I've just tried to make a point recently, specific, like if I can once in a while, to make sure that I just decide to not get something online and go to a local, especially a locally owned business, like not a big franchise, but yeah. Okay, any other whips?
No.
Okay. So now let's do miscellaneous stuff. So miscellaneous stuff. So that could be like anything that doesn't fit into our normal categories.
So not acquisitions.
No. So we'll do acquisitions next.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
So my miscellaneous thing is I wanted to show my mittens that I made. I made these mittens a few months back. So I'm breaking our rule a little bit. I'm showing something that I didn't exactly just finish. But it's okay. We like to. This is our show, and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about.
We do what we want.
In case it's not already apparent, we will talk about whatever we want. Love you all. So these are mittens that I made a few months ago, they're Thrummed Mittens. It's a fairly basic mitten pattern. I actually took a class to learn about this. In hindsight, Maxwell did not need to take a class to learn about this because I will say it. I'm a fairly advanced knitter, and I think Abby is also a very advanced knitter as well. And
most of the time.
Yeah, we're very harsh and we criticize ourselves, and of course there's always things you're not going to know, right? But in terms of the scale of knitters, we're very advanced in that both of us are not scared to knit like the more complicated patterns. It's not saying that there's anything bad about just knitting simple things, but the two of us definitely for some reason like the challenge. And I took this class because I hadn't taken a knitting class in a long time, and knitting classes can be a really nice way to socialize with people and meet knitters, and I think the class was maybe in December or January, and I took it then, and I wanted to learn something new, but you can go online and go on YouTube and type in Thrummed knitting or Thrummed mittens, that's spelled THRUMMED, Thrummed knitting or Thrummed mittens, and you'll find a video where they'll show you how to. And basically what you do is you're taking roving. So the light teal color you're seeing is roving yarn that I basically knitted into the mitten as I was going along in this pattern. So it looks sort of like heart shaped, but that's actually just a knitted stitch. Knit stitches actually sort of look like hearts, which is sweet. And here, I'll show you with it on. But they look big, but it fits perfectly, and they are so warm because. I'll show. This is crazy. It looks like a Monsters Inc. You know that movie, A Monsters Inc. So look at this. So this, you can see on the inside. You see how crazy this is. There are maybe 60, 70, 80 thrums. These little strands of the roving. So you basically pull pieces of the roving off of it, and you make the roving into little bows, and those are called the thrums. And then as you're knitting, there's a technique where you wrap the thrum around the needle and it knits it into the fabric, and makes it so that the inside has this lining like this. And so what this does is that when you're wearing the mitten, it lines the inside, it insulates it. And I've knitted mittens before, and sometimes my experience with knitted mittens is that although they're nice, when it's really cold, knitting is essentially holes, right, loops. And we cannot possibly knit as tightly as a machine can knit something up like mittens. So I was finding air. There was a lot of air like coming through the mittens into my hands, and it was cold. And so this creates a perfect lining on the inside. It basically felts to the inside of the mitten, and they're very, very soft, and it feels cushiony, like the wool sort of squishes around your hand, and then from the friction of pulling your hand in and out, and from sweat and whatever, it will felt against the sides. So those are really cool. They're called Thrummed Mittens, and a really, really good present for people. And the coolest part about this, which I didn't really take a chance to do, is you can pick a yarn color that you want in the background, and you could make the background yarn, I don't know, white, and then you could do each row a different color of thrums. So if you have a bunch of different kinds of roving, and you can make a rainbow sort of, what did you say, like a rainbow pattern of thrums, or you could alternate and go blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. You could do a dark background, a light foreground, and then you could do a light background, dark foreground. So the possibilities with this are endless. I just picked these colors because Abby knows, because I like teal and I like blue a lot. So yeah, those are my mittens.
Cool. Well, my miscellaneous, I did forget, I do have, my miscellaneous thing that I brought today was just books. So this one we've already talked about. It's Pom Pom Quarterly Autumn 2019, and it's Sea Change, and it's got really beautiful, it has the Trove Sweater in it, but it's got some other patterns that I really want to make. I should like face the camera, that would be good.
It's okay.
For example, I really like this aphotic. So that's one that I'm looking at maybe making at some point, by Annie Haas. And then this was a gift for me. My boyfriend and I had like started dating not that long prior, and it's the Lina magazine autumn/winter 2017, and it's got really beautiful like patterns and also just some articles and things, and there's definitely a splurge pattern in it that I will save up and buy the yarn for, because it has camel in it. So
is it really expensive? The yarn's
yeah, it's Fiber Company.
Is this in the States?
Fiber Company, no, they're European, I think, but it's Fiber Company Road to China Light, and the pattern that I want to make is the hay sweater. It looks like that. It's just kind of plain, but it has this beautiful detail up the side.
I think you told me about this, how much it was.
Yeah, and I've done a calculation, and I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a mortgage payment.
Yeah, well, it's just the camel, right? And I mean, I don't mind. It's an exotic animal. I feel like it'd be kind of hard to raise a camel, so I understand that the yard's expensive.
You empathize with the difficulty of raising a camel. I love that. That's amazing. That's something I never thought about at all.
And then my third is just Noro. It's a Noro book. I love Noro yarn, and I do need to make another Noro garment. I haven't shown any of my Noro garments, so maybe that's a next time thing, but I love the way their yarn, kind of similar to Spin Cycle, just like changes color, and it's often colors that you wouldn't expect to pair together, but they're really, really stunning. So I don't know if you have any in the round sweater suggestions that would really suit Noro yarn. Please send them my way.
Yeah.
Not that I need to buy any more yarn, but
emphasis on in the round.
Yes.
Sweater knitting projects. Okay, so we did miscellaneous. Oh, do you want to introduce our guest today?
Our special guest today is, well, there's two actually. There's a painting as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So the special live guest is Ernesto, the aloe plant. And he's been doing really well. He was struggling for a bit because we had to repot him to a bigger pot. But now he's perked up a lot, and yeah, he's I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but I'm not exactly I'm not exactly made for the sunshine, in that it likes to burn me, so I feel like having an aloe plant at the ready to like use is a fairly appreciated practical thing. And then the second thing is my boyfriend, his friend Jacqueline Tamblin, who is an artist out of Victoria, BC.
Does she have a website?
I think so, and she's definitely on Instagram.
If she does, I'll put her information below with her permission.
Yeah, she definitely has an Instagram. And she, as a housewarming gift, she gave us this beautiful painting. And so we just got it stretched. We just got the canvas stretched recently, and we just hung it, and it looks beautiful. So if you are looking to find a piece that looks like this, I would check out. It is
gorgeous. I really love it.
Yeah, I would check out Jacqueline Tamblin. We're really happy with it. So. And
it works perfectly with your wall.
Yeah.
With the color of the wall, because your wall, you didn't paint the wall this, right?
No.
The wall was like that.
That's when we bought the condo. That's the wall. That
works really well. Did she know that the wall was gonna be that color before she made that?
I think so.
Okay. Cool. Okay, let me see if there's anything else, any other miscellaneous things. So let's move on to acquisitions.
Oh gosh.
So acquisitions. So I've had to be fairly sparse with my purchasing, or trying to be sparse with my purchasing. Is that the right word, sparse? Yeah. Just because the orchestra has not been working in the summertime, and we normally don't work in the summertime, but there's been some expenses with coronavirus and other things, I've had to take some pay cuts, as many people have had to take, and different things like that. And I purchased an instrument recently, and so I have lots of beautiful yarn that I probably have 5 or 6 sweater quantities of yarn that I could knit with that are all, well, this is the reason why you don't know this, is because they've disappeared into oblivion. But they are ready to be knit with, and I'm very excited. I have a sweater quantity of green mountain spinnery green. Do you remember that? The pistachio. I have blue Plutolopi, which is this sort of roving-ish Icelandic yarn to knit with. I have a whole thing of Brooklyn tweed colorwork. What else? I have green. Not green. I have a gray Icelandic yarn called Einrum, which is like the mulberry silk and wool. I have many. I have the white yarn, the really thick white yarn for the cable. So I have lots of yarn to knit with. All very nice yarn too. Max is not suffering in the area of yarn. Let's say that. Although I like to claim that I am and need to get more yarn because woe me, But but he still buys yarn, so that's okay. So recently I was watching Christy Glass's podcast. I love Christy Glass, and I love her energy and her enthusiasm. And although it can be a lot sometimes, I think it always fires me up and gets me excited about things. And she was talking about this sweater that she had made for her daughter, and the sweater is called Gamaldags, or Gamaldags, not dogs. I love dogs, they're in my head. Gamaldags. It's spelled Gamaldags. It's an Icelandic word. It means old-fashioned, Gamaldags. And the pattern is by Helen Magnusson, who, for those of you who are out there who have been knitters for a while or knit sweaters or been to Iceland, Helen Magnusson is sort of the queen or the goddess of, I think, Icelandic knitting, I believe. And she has a lot of Icelandic yoke patterns that are more adventurous and more modern, and sort of push the Icelandic colorwork tradition out of the constructs that have been created. But this sweater specifically is a very old-fashioned one. It's beautiful. It's called Gamaldags, and it's on Ravelry, and you can find it there. And I loved Christy's sweater. It was in this combination of blues. So I went online, and so the good thing about Icelandic sweaters is that they're mostly knit, or if you're in Iceland and it's an Icelandic sweater, it's knit with lopi or lopi, which is the Icelandic. It's Icelandic wool. It's spun there, or some of it might be spun elsewhere, but the wool comes from Iceland, and everyone there wears Icelandic sweaters with Icelandic wool. And it's actually it's decently priced. It's good stuff. It's not very soft, so they don't do a ton of work with spinning it or processing it to make it softer, sort of smooth out the fibers or get them all facing in the right direction, and in order to get that evenness. It's definitely a woolly wool. I don't think you'd want to wear this sweater against your skin unless you're Icelandic. Then you might go for it. And so I found this yarn. I went online to look for it, and wanted to support a Canadian either yarn store or yarn distributor. So I looked online and I found this store, and it's in Cambridge, Ontario, and it's called Galt House of Yarn, Galt, Galt House of Yarn. This is the sticker. Galt House of Yarn in Cambridge, Ontario, and these are the colors I picked. So the whole sweater will be in this really beautiful light teal, not teal, like baby blue. And then there's 2 contrast colors in the yoke, and it will be this really, really dark blue, and then this white. So yeah, I got this package and it's very, very reasonably priced. I think they might be $7 bucks or $7-8 like Canadian a ball. And so I just got excited. If you go to Christy Glass's YouTube channel and type in Gamaldags or just look Gamaldags and look for it, you'll see there's a picture of her daughter wearing. It's beautiful, and I'm a sucker for blue, so there's that. What else did I buy? I had one more thing. The soap. What the heck?
Did I put something on it?
I have no idea where I lost something. Hold on, let's see. Oh, I found it. Okay.
Oh, that stuff's great.
So this is called Soak. And there's a few different sort of like wool washes or soap washes that you would use for fiber, whether it's fabric or knitting or crocheting or whatever it might be, that is sold out there. Used for hand washing, meaning, soaking in a bathtub or things like that. And I was in Rick Rack recently. That's the name of the store, right?
Yeah.
Rick Rack. Stash is a yarn store in Inglewood, another beautiful yarn store, and Stash, right across the street, literally right across the street, maybe even half a block down, is their sister store, and it's called Rick Rack, and it's more for textiles, so more for sewing and sewists and different things like that. So if you're looking for buttons or snaps or thread or needles, things like that, sewing needles, you'd go there. And I was there buying snaps for a cardigan I just finished. I'm sewing snaps onto a cardigan I just finished by Denise Beyer on the Wave of Change jacket. I'm snowing.
Snowing.
Oh my god.
No,
Foreshadowing.
not yet.
Foreshadowing.
Not yet,
I'm
please.
sewing snaps onto
Yeah.
this cardigan because I would like to be able to close it. So when it's colder. And I saw this soak, and I lost my wool wash in my move. I haven't been able to find it. And so this is Soak is a name of the brand, and this is Fig, fresh pickled clean, fresh pickled, no, fresh pickled, fresh picked clean. Oh my gosh, I'm having a rough day today. First I said snowing, I can't speak English. Fresh picked, not fresh pickled. I love pickles. I don't know why
You
I said.
might be pickled, but it's not.
Oh my god, fresh.
Yeah.
But it says Fig, and I bet it smells really good. And I'm excited to wash my sweaters. I probably should do, before the winter really hits, I probably should do like a big soak of all my sweaters and make them all clean so that I can wear them a lot and not worry that they're getting smelly.
Cool. Is that your last?
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to mention about yarn stores. We're both knitting with, or I guess we're both knitting with Lichen and Lace, but we're both big supporters also of Villekula Handmade, which is up in Crescent Heights. Villekula Handmade, and I bought my Lichen and Lace sport yarn from her, and Abby's bought many yarns from her and made many projects.
Yeah, I buy a lot of her Lichen and Lace stuff. I bought their mohair and stuff there, and I bought some rustic. I bought the rustic sport for my Eri Sweater there. She also has like art fill and some other really gorgeous Canadian
We're lucky
yarns.
because we have many yarn stores. The three that we named are just the ones that are sort of in our vicinity, but there are more than that actually, and they're all beautiful and they all have different things to offer. And so we're very, very lucky.
Yeah, we really are. Well, okay, so I did more than a little bit of shopping. Anyway, it is what it is. It's been a stressful week.
We've been working so hard, and you deserve it. You deserve all the things.
So I bought all the things. So the first thing, I do love making hats, and it's been a while since I've made a hat. So I went to Stash, and I bought some stuff to make Gudrun Johnson's Fidra Hat, which is like a bulky weight hat, and this is Lillian Pine.
Ooh.
Yarn, which is another Calgary dyer, and it's beautiful. It's really, really stunning. Her bulky is just, it's so soft, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
Holy crap! You put your hand on that, it's a baby's bottom.
So I got that at Stash, and I was super jealous that Max got all the attention from Denise. Well, she said nice things to me too, but I was like, Oh man, I need to. I've been like eyeing up her patterns for a while. Denise Byron.
So we should give backstory. So I knitted the Wave of Change jacket by Denise, and she somebody tagged her or something, and she commented on our last podcast where I think it was either the last one or the one before, and she said, you know, it's beautiful, whatever, and then she ended up like sharing. I put pictures of it on my Instagram story, and she got in contact with me, and she shared it on her story, and I mean, beautiful person, amazing knitter. She makes gorgeous designs and has been for a long time. Not just knitting designs, but like all kinds of fiber arts. And she's really fantastic. I think she has a contract with, is it Lane? Or there's a really prominent knitting magazine that she has contracts with. She's wonderful. You should check her out. Sorry, continue.
So yeah, she's like an amazing human being and kind of like a knitting superstar. Like I would consider her kind of a superstar. She has a lot of really amazing patterns, especially like bulky sweaters.
Yeah.
And they're simple but like so tasteful. And so I've been eyeing up the Grace Pullover by her, which was featured in one of the Lina magazines. And so
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Lina, yeah. I don't know how to say it. I said Lane, but
I think it's
Lina.
pronounced Lina.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just so beautiful. It's got a big cable down the front. We'll link to it. It's beautiful. And it's
so you
another
got Quarry
bulky.
for it?
So I got Brooklyn Tweed Quarry.
I love that color.
Which I'm really obsessed with. The thing that I like about Brooklyn Tweed is just, even if it's like a bulk, like this is a bulky weight, it's thick yarn, but it's so light. It's so perfect for a garment because it's woolen spun, it's so light. And this colorway is Fossil. And so anyway, I've been knitting fingering weight sweaters and sport weight sweaters for the last forever. So I'm really excited to be on something bigger than a size 6 needle. Like you wouldn't believe how excited.
It's true. You and I have both. Oh, I guess I made that chunky sweater, but
Yeah.
I did a fingering one before that, and now we're doing sport. And like, you're actually you've been the driving force in me moving towards smaller yarns, because for the longest time I was always knitting worsted weight sweaters. Like most of my sweaters are worsted weight, and then I met Abby, and I saw like the diversity of yarn she was knitting with, and then, you know, I think once you've seen, when someone comes up to you and they have a beautiful sweater and you're like touching it and seeing it, it becomes so much more real of like, oh, you know, you're seeing the product of what you could make. It's different to see pictures online. It's hard to grasp fully how beautiful something could be. But so you've definitely been enabling me in that regard. But it's good because it makes it so you have more diversity. Like when you're a sweater knitter, you want diversity of the sweaters you make. You want to have something that's a little bit bigger, heavier, something that's lighter, short sleeve crop. Like you want to have, at least that's what I feel like I want. I want to be able to go in my bin and be like, okay, well, it's only this cold today, or it's horrible today, or it's a little warm today, and sort of know
Right.
I have options, right?
And the nice thing about fingering sweaters is you wouldn't necessarily wear them when it's freezing cold outside, but they're really great for like
Mid layers or under layers.
Yeah, or even like, you know, spring or fall. In the evenings here, it does get cooler, and so, you know, it's perfect for those times especially. And I don't know, like it's nice to have a diversity. I like the small stitches, the aesthetic of them, but I also like, you know, big.
It's fun. It's like almost the opposite thing. Like the small stitches are nice because there is such that detail, and then the bigger stitches are really cool because you can see the definition of everything so well because it's so big in your face.
Yeah, totally.
And that yarn, there's a lot of definition. So whatever stitch you do with that yarn is going to come out, like cables in that probably look amazing. I'm
like thoroughly stoked to make. So once I'm done these 2 sport weight situations, maybe even prior to being done the Eri,
knowing you probably will cast on
the Grace Pullover. It really is gorgeous, and I can't wait to like finish it, make it / finish it, and wear it with cute like dresses and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then my last acquisition, I went to the Loop today to thank them for something that we'll share in a minute or two.
Yeah.
Because they've been really supportive of our podcast, and they're just like awesome sauce. So I found and I was jealous of your cat bag. Let's be real. So we enable each other. It's fine. So I bought this this very adorable sheep knitting bag.
When did you go? What time did you go?
I went at like 4.
Oh, so I probably went like an hour and a half before you did. That's
yeah,
funny.
I went like, I came home from work and showered just in case I had like COVID on me.
Oh my God.
To the loop.
Wash that COVID right off.
Yes. So this is like the inside of the bag. I don't know if you could see, but it's got like music notes.
Wait, I want to see. Oh, that is so cute.
It's so sweet. I thought it was so perfect. And then the little sheep like knitting is so freaking cute. And
good hat bag or sock
and
bag.
I got hats. I mostly make, if small garments, I mostly make hats. And then I got this really cute, it's Loop House worsted weight yarn, and it's the colorway is cherry on top, and I love it. It's like little dashes of cherry, so it reminds me of like, I don't know.
It reminds me of the strawberry rhubarb muffins.
Yes.
Sometimes I get. I know it's cherry, but it's like a similar color.
So I'm really excited about that. And yeah.
Okay, cool. So now let's do the giveaway.
Yay!
So the Loop very generously has, I guess this is sort of like a sponsorship in a way. It's like sponsored our channel, and there was a little article made about us in their newsletter, and we love them. Annie and Marilyn and Karina, who own the Loop out there in Kensington. It's sort of if you take Kensington Road going west towards, it's right off of 19th Street and Kensington Road, just northwest of the city, and it's a gorgeous store, and they're wonderful people, and they have really beautiful yarn, and they've been so generous and kind to me and to Abby, and so they sponsored our giveaway today, and Abby will talk about what the giveaway is.
I'm gonna Vanna White. So this is the bag.
Oh.
See the beautiful bag? It's got these like lovely like ties. And then inside the bag, there's like a nice little like pocket in here, so you can put like stitch markers. And inside the bag, we have some size 2 needles for socks, which I'm jealous. These are prettier than my sock needles.
Are they Knitter's Pride?
Knitter's Pride,
Beautiful Knitter's Pride.
Yeah, I've broken a couple of my of my wooden needles.
What happened from working with children?
I'm such a dainty lady. And then they also gave us this beautiful, again, they're house yarn.
Ooh.
And the colorway, I don't know if it's, oh yes, the colorway is hot pink. And it's kind of like, it's like a reddish pink. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think it will make a really soft and really
Wait, what's
cool
the fiber
sock.
context? What's the fiber?
It's 75% wool, 25% nylon.
Oh, okay, so it's perfect. Yeah, so they generously gave us this giveaway, and so everything you have in there, you can make a beautiful pair of socks, and she even gave us 2, like basically separated a skein into 2, so it's really easy. You can use one for one sock and one for the other, and you'll know that you can knit 2 socks that will be the exact same size, and the needles are in there and the bag's in there, and that all comes with our giveaway. So one lucky winner of our giveaway will win that beautiful bag, the beautiful needles, and the sock yarn from the Loop. And by the way, the Loop does do orders over the phone, as do many yarn stores. And so even if you don't live in Calgary and you want to support the Loop or call the Loop and ask about yarn, I'm sure Annie and the people working there would text you pictures of the yarn that she has. And she has a lot of gorgeous yarn in many, many weights. She's a beautiful chunky weight, beautiful fingering, obviously.
Worsted's amazing.
The worsted, she has yarn with cashmere. So, give the Loop a call and ask about their Loop yarn. And they do ship, I believe, like all over the world, maybe at least, especially within North America, probably internationally. So if you'd like to be entered into the giveaway, please comment. Do you wanna do a random comment, or do you wanna do like give them like a prompt and then we choose the? What do you think?
I think I think we should have a prompt.
A prompt. So do you want to ask like what they would do with the sock yarn, or do you want to ask? What do you think? We should have talked about this before.
I know.
Okay, go for it.
Favorite local restaurant or food place?
Okay. Yeah, so go for it. So tell us where you live. So this giveaway, unfortunately or fortunately, is just available to Canadian residents at this time. That makes it financially feasible for Abby and I to get the yarn and the giveaway out to you. But we will, I hope, in the future soon be able to expand upon our giveaways and reach international viewers in the States and in Europe, and we have viewers in Australia. Hello out there. And so, so please tell us where you're from, and you can say something if you like, tell us something you like about our podcast, maybe something you want to see more of, and tell us your like a favorite food place that you like, maybe a local restaurant near where you live, or maybe a bakery that you love, or a fresh foods market or a restaurant like Abby said, and tell us what you like to order there. Yeah. We're big foodies, so.
Well, yeah, and I've there's several really amazing places in Kensington. So, one that I can think of off the top of my head is Pie Junkie. Obsessed.
The pies are so good.
Obsessed.
The savory pies are amazing.
The Jamaican. There's like a Jamaican
jerk pie or something.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And then, oh my god, and their key lime one is ridiculous. And also we just got a gelato place in Kensington, or Sunnyside actually. It's like a 5-minute walk, which is pretty dangerous for me. It's like a 5-minute walk from here. Should have said anything. And yeah, it's like it's.
You can tell Abby's hungry.
I know, yeah.
Hey, podcasting is hard work.
Yeah, man.
It's also a lot of fun.
It's owned by Vendo, yeah, and it's called Holy Cow.
Oh, Vendo. Wait, it's right next to Vendo?
It's right beside Vendo.
Oh, that's dangerous. Oh, I think I walked by it.
Oh, it's so good. And they have donuts, too, but they were out of donuts when I went.
It's probably really popular right now because it's just open and everyone's going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so please comment, and Abby and I will sift through all the comments, and we will choose one, and we will let you all know who won the giveaway on our next episode. And we'll send off the beautiful yarn and project bag and needles, and we would love to see what you make with the yarn, whether it's a sock or a small shawl, or go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so giveaway. So musical moments.
Yes.
So music. So we're both musicians. And so we obviously care a lot about music and art, and we love music, and we, do it ourselves, practice it ourselves in our practice and performance, but also, listen to it and love to experience it. And, for me, actually the past week or two, I've been doing a fair amount of work, sort of, I don't know if producing these concerts is the right way to say it, but sort of putting them together, organizing them, getting people to come to the concerts, and managing our mailing list, and getting colleagues, and sort of organizing everything, making sure everyone has what they need. And it can be kind of stressful, especially since I'm also performing. So I haven't been listening to as much orchestral music, but something I have been listening to a lot is I've been listening to some of Billy Joel, a lot of Billy Joel recently actually. And Billy Joel is fairly old now. He's just, an American singer, and I'm trying to figure out what genre you would say. It's sort of pop rocky, a little bit pop rock. Billy Joel, and he has a famous song, Piano Man, which most people know. Do you know "Sing Us a Song"? You're the Piano Man. Everyone knows that song. And there's many, many other songs that are great. And he's 72 or 73 now, and he's still touring. I actually saw him maybe 5 or 6 months ago, down in where was it? It was in Miami, I think, and the tickets were very expensive, but my father knows how much I love Billy Joel, and eventually he's going to stop singing, he's going to stop touring, right? And so my dad got these tickets, and we went, and it was just the best thing ever. He still sounds great. I mean, he's been singing, for 55 years, 60 years, maybe since he was 12 years old, maybe, and he just has the most gorgeous voice, and there's just so much ring and core, and there's a brightness to it, a liveliness to his sound. It's just such a beautiful sound, and he's such a natural singer and a fantastic pianist. Also plays piano while he sings. And the reason I'm bringing him up, and the reason why it's special, is because I've actually been watching. There are recordings of his concerts from the past few years. You can see him the past few years, and physically he's not as beautiful as he once was, but that beauty fades, right? But talent and all that perseveres, and it's just amazing to me to see him sing at 65 or 66 at Madison Square Garden and sing these songs and play the piano, and it's amazing to me. He sounds just like he was when he was 20, and it's no small feat, to perform as many concerts as he has for as many years as he has, and still sound the way he does. So I've been watching a lot of those. I'll link a link or two on YouTube, but there's one of the New York State of Mind, and he did a collaboration with Barbra Streisand that I found on YouTube, so I've been delving into that, and that's been nice. It's very uplifting music, Billy Joel. So, your musical moment.
Cool. Well, now that I'm teaching again, I have to I'm trying to incorporate classical music as much as I can in my lessons, and so this week, some of my older students are learning about fast tempos in music and slow tempos in music. Mm-hmm. So the slow tempo song that I've picked to talk about is Ombra Mai Fu, and it's by Handel, and it's from the opera Xerxes. And this is just a version of Joyce DiDonato singing it. She's a really incredible American mezzo-soprano. And this is the slow tempo song, or the largo song, that I will be talking about this week in music class. So and I'll post the whole, or we'll post, I guess, the whole link to that. But it's it's so beautiful.
It's intense. It sort of puts you in a trance almost.
Yeah, it's haunting, is what it is. I think.
I think that I was listening to, as I was just listening to that, I was trying to think about the orchestra. Of course, I'm an instrumentalist. I listened a lot to what instrumentalists do to accompany these amazing singers, right? Because you don't want to. There have been plenty of amazing singers that have sung with orchestras that have not played very well, and I think that there's a quality to that recording specifically. You can tell all the string players, none of them are using vibrato. So if you listen to the link back and try to listen, as Joyce sings, you can hear there's a wavering in her voice, so a vibrato, which is a normal thing. It's normal for singers to sing with vibrato. It's normal for string players to also use vibrato. But at this period of time in history, vibrato wasn't a very common thing, at least not with string players. And so in order to create the sort of light wash of sound and the atmosphere of the period of time in which Handel wrote this music, you can hear the entire orchestra, not a single person uses vibrato. And that sort of creates more of a wave and unity of sound, whereas if everyone was using vibrato, there'd be sort of a thickness and a deepness to it, which is beautiful for Tchaikovsky and Strauss and Mahler, but it's nice to hear how sensitive the color is from the orchestra that's coming from the orchestra. It's a really nice color that matches Joyce really well, and also you can hear the harpsichord in the background, that light pingy walking sound, and then Joyce has this ping to her voice.
Yeah.
That really you can tell that that there's like a centering of it, like the ping of the focus, and you can tell that in a hall that it would travel so far just from that recording. I always find it interesting to hear opera singers on recordings because opera singers are not trained to sing into a microphone. They're trained to sing to big halls, and that might be recorded in a hall.
I think it's recorded in a hall.
But it's always interesting to see like where is the mic? Like, is the mic close to her face? Is it far away? It's sort of hard to tell sometimes, like the volume of how loud she's singing. But I've heard Joyce live she was actually singing for a role in Ariodante. I don't know is Ariodante the mezzo soprano, or is that the role? I don't know. I'm not familiar, but it's also Handel, and she sang with that, and it's just incredible. It's really incredible. She's fantastic.
Well, and this one, it's very appropriate, I think, because this song is like, it's basically like lovingly speaking about a tree, I believe.
Wow.
Which is like...
Greta Thunberg would love that.
Love in the nature.
Love in the nature.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've seen Xerxes, so don't, quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure it's like lovingly speaking about a tree, so...
Yeah, there's something about the pace of that. It just sort of slows you down, right?
Yeah.
It sort of makes you like halt, and you have no choice but to just go with it, and you start to lose yourself in it because you can't, there's no way to sort of like push it or make it go faster. And I think that we all like our day-to-day lives are so fast.
And there's so many, I feel like that's something really special about opera is moments like this where you have that like stop traffic.
Calm. It's just a calm moment.
Yeah.
And then it also provides like space for you to breathe and just like, and I literally love that because it almost sounds like breaths, like.
Yeah, totally.
Like slow inhales and slow exhales. It's great. That's awesome.
Yes. Yay.
Cool. Oh, Joyce did a really cool commencement speech at Juilliard. I think it was like maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Wow.
And I remember seeing this when I was in high school, and I was like, who is this gorgeous lady? And the speech was so inspiring about music and art. Maybe I'll find that and try to link it, but she's fantastic. She teaches master classes all over the place as well as sings everywhere. And if you want to see her teach, you can type in Carnegie Hall Joyce or you can just type in Joyce DiDonato masterclass and you'll find her teaching at every opera house and then whatever. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for our Not Your Average Knitting podcast. It was great. It was very fun. I missed it, and it put a smile on my face to do this and to do this with Abby because we both love knitting so much and we love talking about it. Love is maybe an understatement. We're like obsessed with talking about it. So we hope you enjoyed, and if you made this far, you rock. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay, so we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.